I'm Hannah, and I'm the founder of the Tiny Project. The Tiny Project is made up of like 3 main branches. So we have the Tiny Farmers Market, the Tiny Studio Series, and then the Tiny Post. The Tiny Farmers Market is how we got started. I was making jams and I wanted to meet my neighbors, and so I started selling my jams in my front yard.
It's nice now though, because Nathan helps.
It started truly as like a very tiny thing that I could do that made me feel more connected to my community. I was freshly unemployed. I was pretty insanely burnt out. I felt like I didn't really have much money to give. I didn't have a space to give. So I was like, you know, all I have is this little front yard. I can start there. I posted it on my personal Instagram that had like 500 followers. I printed out some flyers and put them out in the neighborhood. And I always tell people it looked like a rinky-dink lemonade stand, but I met more of my neighbors in like that first 3 hours than I had in 3 years of living in that house. And during this, I was also building a small tutoring company. So that was my game plan. I was gonna start tutoring kids in executive functioning, which is what I had my background in. And I was like, this is what's gonna sustain me. And it was a much slower pace of life, but it felt so worth it because I was finally like gaining back some of my hobbies. Over the course of just a few months, it very quickly turned into a full-blown market, and now we have 30 vendors, live music, and free drinks. There were more people relying on this than the tutoring, and so it felt like an easy choice, an easy opportunity to grow this. I'm lucky to have 2 things that I love, but this one is the one that's requiring more responsibility, so that's the one I'm choosing.
We have so many people that want to join in, and we're like, oh, let's just like make as much space as possible. No, it's awesome.
We thought it would be really cool to write a letter every month, and I would put my art in this little 1-ounce letter and send it out to whoever subscribed. And so that is now probably the biggest part of the Tiny Project is the Tiny Post, and we send to over 5,000 people all across the world. I typically try to give myself 3 weeks to design, and that's like everything. That would be like the stickers, the Spotify playlist, all of the recipes, and you know, just any artistic piece that goes into it. We had to get a studio because of all of the letters, and we really only use it 1 week out of the month, and so now we partner with new or upcoming artists who are looking to make creativity their full-time job, and we give them a place to come set up and show what they love. I was 17 when I joined, and I was a very different person at 17. I wanted a really great education, and this was what felt like my only way into that at the time. And so while I don't entirely regret it, it has caused some major shifts in my life. People in your 20s, there's this like, okay, you can move, you can go experience all these different things. And while some of that is true for me, I also have felt so like I can't do what I want to do. I'm stuck in this contract that I made the decision of at 17. It's also just a very delicate matter that like if something comes up like a deployment or a long-term training exercise that I need to leave for an extended period of time, that would be quite honestly detrimental. That's probably the hardest part of going through my 20s, has been managing the fact that I'm also still in the military and just being at the will of other people's decision making. My husband just quit his job to work for the Tiny Project. He left the AI space to work in this anti-AI space, so that's been very fun.
Seeing that I was actually impacting people positively was really exciting. Like when we were out at the markets, like everyone's just so happy to be there. And so the decision to leave a kind of the steady job side of it was difficult, obviously, but in terms of kind of my happiness from then to now is you can't even compare it. Like I'm so much happier now. There's so much opportunity with this, and I think there's so much good that can be done. And so we're just excited to continue to grow it and continue to positively impact people's lives.
I never expected my life to be this at all. And so if it's for 1 year, if it's for 3 years, if it's for the rest of my life, like I gotta be okay with that.